So welcome to this new CME session, and today we'll be discussing pitfalls in the diagnosis of Corpus Callosum agenesis. So let us go on to this first picture where I'll show you how the Corpus Callosum appears. Now, proper visualization of the Corpus Callosum requires a mid-sagittal section, and in this mid-sagittal section you can make out that this dark area is representing the cavum septum pellucidum, and above it this darkish area surrounded by two bright lines is corpus callosum. So corpus callosum is stretching from here right up to this area. Now this is when we get a sagittal section. So many times we are not able to get a sagittal section, and majority of the times we don't even try to get. In fact, the standard protocol is not getting a sagittal section and interpreting in the transverse sections. So in transverse sections we have to rely on the indirect sign, and one is that even after 18-20 weeks or 22 weeks, the cavum septum pellucidum, which you can make out here as a rectangular box-like area, is absent. The other indirect sign is a ventricle which is having a dilatation on the in the occipital horn with a narrow frontal horn. Here you can see the frontal horn is narrow, and here it is too narrow. Here it is producing almost a arrow-like appearance here. So in both the cases, of course, you can make out that the occipital horn is increased and the frontal horn is narrow. So this is known as colpocephaly, and here we can make out overall ventricle size is increased. So this can also be possible that there is a ventricular dilatation. So these are indirect signs, and we usually make a diagnosis on the basis of this. Now let us go on to the next slide. Here you can make out that these indirect signs may either be absent or they may be poorly visible when we do a scan before 24 weeks, and which is the time which we normally do the scanning for anomalies. Now before 24 weeks, ventriculomegaly only in 25% we may see. Colpocephaly just in 20%. And cavum septum pellucidum may be seen in nearly 60% cases. It may be normal. At times what happens, instead of cavum septum pellucidum, we see a cystic area in the center, almost in the same position, and which is also referred to as pseudocavum, which is not a cavum septum pellucidum, and it is falsely interpreted as a cavum septum pellucidum. Now this pseudocavum type of a thing may represent either a third ventricle or interhemispheric cyst, or at times a distorted cavum septum pellucidum. A distorted cavum septum pellucidum, which may be not a typical rectangular shape, but it may be more rounded or more square shaped, that may be a part of partial agenesis. And at times, even in complete agenesis, you may find such a thing. And this pseudocavum can be falsely interpreted as a cavum septum pellucidum which is present. So you have to be careful about this part as well. A scan after 24 weeks can show ventriculomegaly and colpocephaly in more than 70% of the cases, and a false midline cyst which was appearing like cavum septum pellucidum may now be too small, and the fact that we were getting confused with cavum septum pellucidum may not be the factor now. Now this part, that before 24 weeks so many cases we may miss, and after that a larger number of cases we can pick up. Now this applies to many other anomalies as well, and we should be very careful of these aspects, because many times what happens that we land in medical legal problems, and there when we are the respondent in the court, we should be well versed with these facts so that we have a point of defense. Additionally, if you know about these things, you can even tell the patient when the patient confronts you. So be careful, know the right thing, and be confident about whatever you are saying. Thank you so much.